Welcome to another episode of Z's Corner. Trinidad and Tobago is currently hosting the Youth Commonwealth Games. It's the first time the games are being held in the Caribbean region, and this is a momentous occasion not just for Trinidad and Tobago, but also for athletes who get to showcase their talent to a global audience. It started with the dream and the belief, really, by the former TTUC president, Brian Lewis, that Trinidad and Tobago could host the Youth Commonwealth Games. We have the facilities, we have the talent, we have the resources, we have the people. Why not be able to package that all together and showcase that to the world? And we know that without dreams, a life without dreams is a barren field covered with snow. So kudos to President Lewis for having that dream and allowing Trinidad and Tobago to really have this opportunity and this occasion, right? I was in the stadium on Friday afternoon for the opening ceremony of the games, and when the Trinidad and Tobago team walked for their presentation, you could feel the excitement and the energy in the air. I mean, the athletes were ecstatic. Our flag bearer was Nikolai Blackman. He was jumping up and down, waving, and the costume that led us out, I think it was the Queen of the Band costume from Carnival earlier this year. Magnificent presentation, and you could really feel the vibe, the essence, the energy. I think anybody who's Trinidadian or Trinbagonian, we really live for those kind of moments when we can see the best of ourselves, right? It's exciting, it's contagious. I'm really, really happy that we had that opportunity. But I'm here to say that I want us to want more for ourselves than being able to say that we hosted the event. I want us to say that we hosted an event and executed it well with no hiccups. When I say this, I mean as little hiccups as possible, because we have the talent here. We put on large-scale events. We put on fetes hosting thousands of people for Carnival every single year. And patrons have an excellent time. The user experience is friendly. That was not my experience on Friday at the National Stadium for the opening ceremony of the Youth Commonwealth Games. So let's start with logistics, right? Getting people to the event, getting people into the event. Nobody thought of telling us ahead of time there is no parking in the Hazley Crawford Stadium for patrons. So carpool with your friends, park outside, be prepared to walk. I didn't hear anything about that. I saw lots of posts in the last week on Twitter, on Instagram, telling us to come out to show the world the energy of Trinidad and Tobago and be there for the opening ceremony. Tickets cost $50. It starts at 4. Be there. All the information was there. Nothing about a parking plan, a traffic management plan, which gates to enter the stadium. They didn't think we needed to know any of that. But for Carnival, we tell people these things. We do it ahead of time, so everybody knows what to expect when you're going to a venue for an event. That didn't happen for the opening ceremony, and that really affected my user experience because, of course, it made me late because I drove there and then realized, wait, I should have parked and walked, but now I'm stuck in a traffic jam. So then I have to turn around and see where I can park that's not illegal and walk back to the stadium when it started exactly at 4 o'clock, promptly on time, which is a very un-Trinidadian thing, but kudos to being an international event being broadcast live. It started on time. I'm really happy about that. Not happy about not missing the first 15 to 20 minutes of it, but you know what? Kudos to the organizers for making sure it started on time. So while we get there and we're in the venue, or we get to the venue, we're starting to sort out how to enter with the tickets. I'm not really sure why we bothered to have tickets if nobody was really scanning the tickets and the tickets weren't really a security measure or a count. Then I don't see the purpose of the ticket then. You might as well have said, come free and fill the whole stadium versus just the covered section of the stadium, which is what had people. And granted, this is the first time I've seen half of the National Stadium completely filled. Like there was no room in the covered section. They were starting to send overflow people over to the uncovered section because literally there were no seats between the Trinidadians who came out to support, the Trinbagonians who came out to support the national team, and of course the people who came to support the foreign teams that are visiting us. I mean, the English team, the New Zealand team, the South African team have pretty big contingents. So I saw some of their fans in the stadium as well. So kudos on that. I'm glad that we got international people here to experience us and our culture and our food and our heritage, which was on display. There was a really heartwarming moment between the guy who created the mascot, little boy, he can't be more than 10 years old, who created the mascot and the mascot itself. And of course, one of our up and coming bands, Freetown Collective, did the theme song for the games, which is a big opportunity and experience for them to really showcase their music to a global audience. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of this young artist who got to see his creation come to life, in front of the world. That's just, it's just an amazing experience. But I can't help but feel that we're being a little bit shortchanged in the overall package when these hiccups happen. So the traffic, so the ticketing to get into the venue. Then there was a volunteer who decided to tell the board member of a local company she doesn't know who he is. So he takes out his phone, trying to film the excitement to put it on social media, and she tells him there's no filming allowed. We are in 2023, guys. Everybody has a smartphone that films. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You can't tell people, unless you're taking their phone from them, telling somebody not to film, and you're not in an enclosed place like, I don't know, the Queen's Park, the Queen's Hall Auditorium or something, like, that doesn't make much sense. And even then, people still sneak and film, okay? Not me, but I've seen people do it. So even when you go to places in Trinidad, they tell you, oh, no filming and no audio recording, trust me, somebody's filming and somebody's taking an audio recording. Because, technology exists to circumvent every rule that you ever invented. But anyways, the point of this is that she is telling this to somebody who she doesn't know. So somebody told her that she should tell people not to film. Who told her that she should tell people this? Because she's telling that she doesn't know who the person she's telling that to. Suppose she said this to the chef de mission for a visiting team or a high-ranking official from a foreign country. How's that look for us? Not too great, if you ask me. But I digress. So beyond that, we have the presentation going on the field itself. And as somebody who's hosted events, who's helped with the planning of events, you know that you have to do a dry run, a walkthrough to make sure that you think of all the possibilities and all the things that could go wrong. I had friends working backstage, helping with the presentation, helping manage the artists, helping manage the athletes to make sure they were coming out for the presentation parade. Only to find out, guys, that there was no cold water for the athletes in the holding area. Now, guys, call time is 2 o'clock for a show that is at 4 p.m. You can't tell me that you only have lukewarm water, room temperature water, when the temperature outside in Trinidad feels like 40 degrees Celsius. We're boiling right now, guys. The whole world boiling. And all going on with this heat. It really needs to stop. But you cannot tell me that nobody thought, we only realized at the venue, wait, it's real hot and it don't have no cold water. So all we could give them is lukewarm water. And you send somebody late after the fact to fight up in traffic to get tubs to put ice in. But of course, by the time the tubs reach, it's just going to sit down there because the event doesn't start. People are already using the lukewarm water. Really? Really? To me, that is something that should have never happened and should not have been missed. Because while it went off without a hitch and no athlete passed out with heat stroke or anything like that, what if somebody did, guys? How would that look for us? On us? That's wild to me. That's really wild to me. Anyways, moving along now. We're coming down to the end of the opening presentation ceremony. Everything's going well. The Parade of Nations has ended. The fireworks has gone off. And we're about to unfurl banners across the field of the Hazy Crawford Stadium. There are 4 banners. 3 of them were unfolded without a hitch. Now, mind you, this event is being televised live, okay? This is not where we can stop, rerun, dry run, edit, cut, continue. No, this is happening live. 3 of the banners were unfolded with no issue. And guys, 1 banner snagged on something on the field. And you could see the shell shock of the 2 guys who were assigned to unfurl that banner. You could see them like looking at each other, thinking like, wait, what's happening right now? What do we do? And of course, all the other guys whose banners unfurled smoothly exit stage left. Not my problem. But kudos to them. They recovered. They figured it out. They got the banner unfurled. But I was sitting down there in the stadium like shell shocked because that looks bad. If it looks bad to me sitting in the stadium, it looks bad on international TV. And I want us to want better for ourselves. I want us to roll out those banners 5 times to make sure that there's no way that it can possibly snag. I want us to risk mitigate everything that we think can go wrong because we can do this. It's not just about hosting the event. It's about doing it well to the best of our ability to make sure that it's a true reflection of who we are, how great we are as a nation. I want us to want better for ourselves. I want us to believe that we deserve better. And I also want us to raise a generation that values the work and the energy and the money that it costs to renovate the National Stadium to host this event. Because I was in the stadium for Champs the weekend before. And let me tell you, those of us who live here, we know what the stadium looked like before they renovated. We know as a female that you wasn't using them bathrooms beforehand. But everything is brand spanking new. That cost a lot of taxpayers' money or a loan. I have no idea where the government got the money from to do it. Don't know. But I have a problem with 12 and 15-year-olds in the stadium cocking their foot up on chairs, throwing things down, not disposing of their trash properly. We need to treat our things better. That is an investment in the youth. Why is no adult who is with these children telling them to take care of what is now a national asset that has been renovated so that we can host future events? Right? That's my problem. Why is it that we feel that we do not need to show care and respect for our facilities? Why can't we dispose of our trash properly? Why do we have to put our feet on the seats? That's unacceptable. You wouldn't go to a stadium outside and the usher tells you, take your feet there. You can't put your feet there. You're not going to guff up at him and roll your eyes and be like, why are you telling me anything? And deliberately throw down your juice on the floor or on the seat and leave your can there. No, you wouldn't do that. And we should stop accepting and allowing people to do that to our facilities here. It's a bad look, not just for us, but for the people who come here. Because it's only by the standards that you set for yourselves that you tell others, including the foreign internationals who are here as tourists, to cheer on their athletes, to support their athletes, but also to enjoy our culture. We need to teach them how to treat us by showing them how we value our own spaces and ourselves. So I am beyond happy that somebody, Brian Lewis, had the vision and the dream to push, to fight for years to bring the Youth Commonwealth Games to Trinidad and Tobago, to the Caribbean, to show the rest of the world that we have the facilities here, we have the resources here, we have the expertise here to do things and do them well. But I want us to ensure that we utilize the best of our talent when we're putting on events like this. We have the people. We have people who are great at logistics, who are great at coordination, I have been to events at Carnival where water runs out, ice runs out, cannot happen. That should not happen here, not for an event like this in front of an international audience. So go out, support the athletes. I'm about to head to the Aquatic Center in Couva for some swimming. I'll be catching the track and field in the stadium again this week. So come out, support the athletes. Tickets are only $30. You can get them online. You can get them at the venue. Go out, support Team TTO. Thanks for listening. See you on the next episode.